And we are going. What is going on with everybody? It is your boy Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real, raw, rugged. And on the other line, I might have, I don't know, this is probably one of the most like talented people I've interviewed. And I've interviewed, I think, I'm around like 300 interviews in so far. And you might be up there, one of the talented people. I got freaking, uh, I probably should list somebody. I don't know who I've interviewed too many people. Freaking Bobby Caldwell, the white guy who made the nigga sounding music. Then we got you right below him. He made the song. What did Bobby Caldwell make? Introduce yourself, and I'll figure out what Bobby Caldwell made
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Okay. I will admit I was looking at the camera for the first half of it, and now my eye line has shifted. So anyone watching who feels uncomfortable, I'm glad.
Gotcha.
I'm glad I could do that to you. Did you say introduce yourself? I'm sorry, I
Yes,
cut you
yes, yes.
off.
Please introduce yourself.
Hello. I am the comedy dominatrix known as Mr. Mosby's Left Tit on TikTok. A username that I clearly created not thinking that the account would do well. Um, what am I? I'm a comedian, I'm a writer, I'm a scammer, a liar. I think I'm lactose intolerant, but I push through it. Um, I'm a lover. I'm a fighter. I'm a midnight rider. I get my living on the run.
What can't you do? We have a person that can do it all here, and I just want
Yeah.
to say thank you for coming on the channel. I appreciate that a lot.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. By the way, Bobby Caldwell is the guy. He sung that song. I can get you up my.
Oh, okay. I think that part I do somewhat recognize. I'm very out of the loop.
Gotcha.
Like I'm in Gen Z. I'm the older end of Gen Z,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what anyone is talking about. I don't listen to anything. I don't know any slang words, and frankly, I don't care to know. I choose to be ignorant.
No, it legit seems like hearing your voice outside of TikTok, because I
Mhm.
thought that was just a voice, but this is your real voice. It sounds like somebody picked you out of the Renaissance era and was like, "Hey, you were white back then. We're gonna paint you nigga, and now
Yeah,
you're in America." And
yeah.
that you have like a. I would imagine like this is the dialect that freaking Da Vinci talked with or something, you know. So the fact that this is your voice, it makes you even 10 times better. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, everyone knows me. Da Vinci spoke fluent English. He was pretty English all the time. No one else understood him. That's why he had to paint. That's the
Yeah.
only way he could express himself. But thank you. I do think that whenever I have a camera on me, I do have a very I've had it described as like a constipated news anchor, like a principal giving an announcement, but like clearly from a distressed point of view. And I do talk like this for the most part in real life, but I think the second a camera gets turned on,
Mm.
something in like my monkey brain is like, you must now perform. You must now be someone else. And I think, mind you, I think that's better.
Mm.
I don't believe in authenticity.
You know
I
what?
said that right to the camera too.
You know it's crazy. I can understand that because when a camera gets turned on me, not that I perform or not that I freaking start to coon it up or anything like that, but
Yeah.
there is it's like it's something turns on. I don't know what it is. Just like you said, it's something that's like, hey, you kind of gotta be this person. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do this
Yeah.
thing or whatnot. And yeah, that's very interesting. Do you have a like off camera? Like, what is the difference between you off camera versus you on camera? Would you say?
Um. Well, I mean, on camera, I'm usually like waist down, no clothes. But in real life, I also do that. So I feel like there's no difference in terms of my attire. I think I care more about how I sound when I'm on camera.
Mm.
Whenever I make content, I do take extra steps to be, I guess, slightly more articulate and verbose than I normally am in regular conversation. Um, because I feel like if you bothered following my page, I don't want to give you crap. You know what I mean? I want every little TikTok to be this nice little curated piece of content just for you. You know, like when your like mom would make you a plate of food and she'd
Yeah.
be like, "Here you go, sweetie. Here you go," and you'd be like, "I don't like green peas, but like, thanks, mom." That's me basically. Um, yeah, I don't know why when you talk about cooning, I know this is unrelated, but I feel like okay, is this just me? I feel like as a black person, every time I hear a banjo, my fight or flight response kicks in so fucking quick. It's the scariest sound, and maybe it's just because I also don't respect folk music. If you like folk music, I don't care. Full offense. It's not valid. It's like poetry. I don't believe in folk music or poetry. I don't think they're valid art forms.
I think the instru. I mean, I think the intro. I think the inner minstrel show performer inside of me gets activated actually when I hear a banjo.
Yup.
I hear I get the
Yeah.
bankhead bouncing and I get to
Yeah. The
doing
tap
some of
shoes
this.
manifest.
The
In
toe get the
theory.
tapping. I get the whistling. Like I legit turn into a minstrel show performer when I hear a banjo. So yeah, I think we're a little opposite, and I think that you might be on the right side of history. I think I'm on the exact wrong side of history. So yeah, congrats to you. Congrats to
Thank
you.
you.
Hey, speaking of coons, this is also very off topic. Uh, you know who's the biggest coon on TikTok? I don't know if you know this woman. Her name is Johnny Watermelon. Are you familiar with Johnny
I do
Watermelon?
not know who. I feel kind of weird calling people like, "Oh, you're a coon." I feel like it's a little too. I got to see what you're doing
No,
first.
this is
But
this is bad. This is
okay.
this
Oh, okay. Okay.
this girl gimmick is eating watermelon, but like extreme watermelon eating. Like she'll be hopping off the top of a house and just like laying down face first eating them. I swear to God. I swear to God. On everything I love.
Hold up. We gotta call the NAACP. We have to stop this.
Oh my gosh. It's like a video where they'll be like you can reply to a comment on TikTok. The comment would be
Yeah.
like, "You make black people look bad," and she'll be like, "Do I really?" And somebody like a throw a watermelon up midair, and she'll like a like freaking airbud like out the air. She'll grab the watermelon with her mouth.
Oh my God. Please.
Oh my
I feel like that's
goodness,
a
man.
page that O.J. Simpson would follow.
Oh my gosh, man. You have to check her out, man. Johnny Watermelon. It's
Johnny Watermelon.
Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny.
Johnny. All right.
Whew, man.
Let me write that down real
Johnny,
quick.
I will text you her TikTok, so you
Okay.
don't even have
Johnny
to write it
Watermelon.
down right now.
Dang.
Um,
Okay.
what are some, because I do want to get into how I found you. Before we do that, what are some things on TikTok, like maybe underground pages or just pages that probably people do or don't know about that are just fascinating as Miss Johnny Watermelon that you have found that you're like, how is this real life?
Okay. I can't name the like accounts names off the
Yeah.
top of my head, but there's certain subgenres on TikTok that I think are really fascinating. Middle-aged suburban white dads being thotties, like
Mm.
doing, like the whole, like the TikTok dance.
Yeah.
They're shaking them little Caucasian cheeks. I live for it because they eat it up. Like they take it so seriously. They're sitting in their bathroom because they have to record in private. Like they
Mm.
can't do that shit like in their bedroom, right? And they take it so seriously. They bring their A game, and I can respect them for that.
Mm.
What else? There's this one person. I don't know if this is a genre. There's this one user, pretty popular. I don't think that they have like 2 million followers or something. So clearly they have an audience. This person, every TikTok, they are either in a sewer, the woods, or a river.
Mm.
But they seem very content. Like they'll have a thing. There's one video where they'll show up and they'll be like, "Well, I'm gonna give my one of my dolls a baptism," and then he cuts the camera and it's his friend like waterboarding his doll in a riverbank.
So this is a serial killer. It sounds like he's a serial killer.
I don't think he's that committed. I feel like to be a serial killer, you gotta have like some level of drive. I feel like this person is just chaos, like the embodiment of chaos, but like neutral,
Gotcha.
neutral chaotic. They don't seem malevolent. And in the sewer grate, like they stayed there because they hung up like actual fairy lights, and LED lights. So they have made a commitment to actually sprucing this place up.
Mm.
And he also drinks water out of a bedazzled like hamster water dispenser. I didn't know they made them that large. And I just think that there's some, people online are always like, just be yourself, be unique, like, shut the fuck up. This is what an actual unique person looks like.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and it's. I know when people call me unique or weird, I'm like, no. You have not met a weird person. You haven't.
This guy's waterboarding dolls. He's the most
Yeah.
unique person ever. The thing about TikTok that I feel like differs from Vine is that there was not this much weirdness, uniqueness on Vine. There was a lot of one of a kind humans or whatever. I don't know if it's because it's a longer duration time, but you really find some one of a kind people on
Yeah.
TikTok. And this is coming from a guy in myself who's very anti TikTok. I'm big anti TikTok. We'll get into
Yeah,
that a
you're
little
not
later.
wrong.
We'll get into that a little later, but very interesting stuff. And before I lose my train of thought, I
Yeah.
found an 8-second video that I have to show you. I'm gonna pull this up really quickly. All right, here we go. Right here, 8-second video off of YouTube from. I'll just play it. That's Johnny Watermelon. Just a little 8-second video of her just attacking watermelons, and
I think I've seen her. Okay.
you have seen her.
I mean, I do appreciate her athleticism.
Yeah, she should be put in the Olympics. I don't know what Olympic sport she would be doing, but she is a very athletic woman for sure. That is yeah. What if that was a sport? What if like
I have
freaking
so many offensive jokes lined up for that, but you know what?
let him go, man. Let him
Oh my god, because you said that, like the Olympics, I'm like, Coon Olympics.
I was thinking of that.
Every single like stereotypical event, like it could be a bunch of men and they're like running away from their child support payments. Like it's the 100-meter dash.
Whoever wins doesn't have to pay. That's hilarious. No, that would definitely be a skit. And whenever that skit drops, you're fucking out of here. They're on Twitter. Get you the fuck out of here. That is not going to last. Yeah, I could definitely see that though.
Their prize at the end isn't a medal. It's just like a thick white bitch.
Hey, you know what's interesting? So you strike me as a person similar to myself that you are a person who can like there's a difference between like being like a shit person and a person with very, I guess, like dark sense of humor or sense of humor that could be like a little bit offensive or whatever. You strike me as a person who you may come up with ideas, jokes, concepts, but you're like, people wouldn't appreciate that. That might be rubbing a little too many feathers. How often does that happen when creating like a video or anything where you're like, I don't know if I should say that one?
You know, I do have to engage in self-censorship quite often, but interestingly enough, and I think this actually does transition into my own qualms with TikTok,
Okay.
the platform. A lot of the times, maybe 20% of the time, I will edit a joke out where I think, okay, maybe that's not my lane. I can understand why people might interpret this the wrong way, and I just don't want to do that. Like, I like dark humor, but I'm not a huge fan of deliberately agitating people, and I find it frustrating when comedians get all high and mighty and they're like, we're the real transgressors. It's just like, no comedian talks like that, but you know what I mean? And I think like the difference between being, you know, talking about a topic that's controversial and then just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole, and I never wanted to go down that path. So 20% of, you know, some of my offensive jokes, of all the jokes that I've ever edited out or altered, have been because I don't want to be that bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be someone who misrepresents a group of people because I think it's funny and then have them genuinely go like, okay, I don't actually think that this is good. Like, I don't like the way that makes me feel. I don't want to make people feel like shit. The other 80% has nothing to do with the audience. It has to do with the platforms that I'm on. The degree of censorship that is required of you on TikTok and YouTube, especially after the adpocalypse to an extent. At least the good thing about YouTube is, even if your video gets demonetized, what you can say, they're a little bit more lenient and the video is still up. Right? Usually YouTube is incredibly litigious when it comes to copyright. That's the big thing on YouTube, right? Fine by me. I don't really use any copyrighted material. But they usually don't take down a video unless an individual person has, like, who owns the copyright puts a strike on it, or it gets mass reported, or it, like, genuinely has, like, really graphic content, right? So you're okay. I've never had a YouTube video taken down. TikTok, on the other hand, described this actually very recently to my friend, that the process of making content on TikTok is like you make this little, this little like nugget of comedy, and you are walking up to this giant, like Chinese robotic overlord, shaking, quivering in your tiny little boots, and you're like, "Is this okay? Is it, can I post this?" And they just look down at you, and they're like, "Yes, fine, you can post it," but they can change their mind at any point. They can decide, no, 20 minutes in, 1 second in, several months in. I've had that happen numerous occasions. Videos that were perfectly fine were getting thousands of views just like that. Like community guideline violation after another in quick succession. Which is the reason, one of the reasons I got suspended from the Creator Fund for 6 months.
Really?
Yeah. So if you're wondering why I took a bit of a hiatus from TikTok, it's because my suspension ends on the 14th of February. So I have a little bit of time, and I've been stockpiling content in anticipation. And yeah, some of the shit that I've gotten videos taken down for. One of the most egregious examples is I had a video where there was a doodle. I had a doodle, like clearly a drawing of me punching a bird. And that video got taken down for displaying graphic violence. Like that's the level. But you can literally be a minor shaking your ass on that app, and that's right. Or spreading like North Korean propaganda, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. So,
Two things. One, I would definitely watch a TikTok channel that was spreading North Korean propaganda. I want to know what that looks like.
100%.
That would be fire. Two, I thought you said you actually punched a bird, and I was going to say, you and Johnny Watermelon are fucking the most athletic women in America. If you could fucking just fucking Superman punch a bird, what the fuck? You're in the wrong profession.
First of all, if I punched a bird on camera, I would understand. I would be like, okay, all right, I get it. But it was like a fun, and then afterwards, I was like, I gave it a bracelet. Like, it was a video about how I think, like, birds elicit a very weird reaction in me.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're the closest, like, living descendants of dinosaurs, and I think it's bizarre that we make chicken nuggets out of their flesh, and then we put them in the shape of dinosaurs. Like, I think that's very disturbing. It's very cash money and big dick energy, but it is disturbing. But yeah, that was it. And I didn't think it was particularly violent.
Yeah.
Right? There's way worse stuff on there, by the way, which is why there's no consistency. That's the problem. You have no idea if it's going to be considered, like, offensive enough when you upload it.
Let's trade our qualms about TikTok. One, didn't know that minors were damn near, Meg the Stallion twerking on there. That's really crazy, because I'm pretty sure that's a genre for like weirdos to go in there and be like, oh, like what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty problematic. I didn't know that, so that adds to a list of qualms I'm finna go on. So one, I was indifferent about TikTok, didn't make one, but I had a friend named Sachi, and he would just hound me every single day. Hey, you need to make a TikTok, you need to make a TikTok, you will go viral, you will go viral, you will go viral. I'm like, I don't care, I don't want to do it. So you just, somebody's annoying so much, you just do it just so you could be like, get them off your back. So I made one, and I have a stockpile of content of me doing public interviews. I go out in the street, ask questions or whatever, and go about my day. So I started posting those videos. First video, 800,000 views. Second video, 700,000 views. I'm like, okay, maybe I should have made this. Third video, I think like 1 million views, something like that. I'm like, all right, this is going great. Then TikTok said, who is this nigger in a bonnet trying to, profit off our stuff? And literally ever since then, every video gets taken down for the smallest things. And the questions and the responses that I'm getting are not that crazy. They're very run-of-the-mill stuff. Like I've seen public interviews by young black men, and they're crazy. Like, hey, you want a gay daughter or a retarded kid? It's like, all right, bro.
Is that a black Alex Jones?
Like, all right, this is absolutely insanity right here. So, no, wasn't any of that. I would ask a question like, hey, I live in Jacksonville, Florida. So I'm like, hey, what is something you don't like about women in Jacksonville? And the guy says, they use big words, man. They confuse me. And I say, well, what big words do they use? He says, childish. They get me out of here for that. What happened? Nothing happened to that video. It's a very simple video. So it's terrible. Now I'm at the point where if I post a video, I don't know if this happened to you before, but it gets reviewed. So like it doesn't even like upload it. Like, oh, we're reviewing this video before it gets uploaded, and
Yeah.
then like 3 hours later, like, yeah, we can't upload this or whatever. And it's very just. So I told a story about when this gay guy tried to catfish me. I didn't even say any bad language. I didn't say
Yeah.
anything crazy. And I think the crazy thing I might have said is booty warrior. And they were like, you know what? Get out of here. So yeah, I mean,
That's a term of endearment.
of course. So I think I've deleted TikTok, and I don't know if you ever heard Donald Trump views on TikTok, but I'm kind of on the orange guy
Yeah.
side right here. Fucking get fuck
Yeah.
China, like China, like
They're
it's crazy. I'm not a TikTok guy anymore, but yeah, you're
they are
amazing
they're
on there.
fully stealing our data. Like it's not even a conspiracy. There's a reason I think it's like people who work in national defense or government agencies, like especially higher up, they're not allowed to have it on their
Really?
phone. Yeah.
Hmm.
I might have pulled that out of my ass. So that might be like a fully like rectally derived fact. But I know for a fact they are stealing like data. That's not. I mean, that's something that's been proven at this point. They're probably listening in right now.
Probably
Watching
so.
the band.
Probably so. You know what? I want to put a sticky note on this conversation and go back because I legitimately forgot to just talk about you and like how I even found you, who you are. But I do want to go back to conspiracy theories because I feel like you may have some interesting conspiracy theories. I have some interesting conspiracy theories. Kind of want to
Okay.
trade them off. But let's go back to you. So how I found you. Being on TikTok, I like when I was on TikTok, I really wasn't on there often. So how I found you, I don't specifically remember, but I do know what video it was. It was the video of you in your car talking about Pitbull Dale, who I don't know if that's his real name. I thought that nigga name was Dale this whole time. So shout out to Dale Dale. I don't know what that nigga name is no more.
Was this the Pitbull one?
The Pitbull one, yes, the
Yeah.
Pitbull, the
Okay.
Pitbull, and I lost it when you hit it with the like he said you have dreams about Mitt Romney or whatever, and you say, so what, nigga? That shit absolutely killed me. And when I started watching all your videos, I got two in. I subscribed to your YouTube channel. I started looking at your podcast. This was like months ago. I looked at every episode of your podcast. I started looking at the videos on your YouTube channel. I literally just got obsessed with everything your art. I was like, yo, I don't know who she is, but this girl is legitimately one of the most talented, not even just women, but just people on earth right now that is like untapped. Like you're one of those people that like I don't know 2-3 years from now you're going to be like on a TV show or on a movie somewhere and you're going to be doing your Da Vinci Renaissance voice and people are going to absolutely freaking love it. And yeah, I just had to let you know this because yes, I am a huge fan of what you do.
Thank you. That's it's always nice to hear good things about, content that I do. I genuinely want people to enjoy it, so it's nice.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah. I should probably delete all my yellow face videos then.
Yellow face videos.
'Cause with blackface, if anything, it would be blacker face. Because the foundation's already there. So I gotta pivot to another race.
Hey, speaking of yellow face, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So one thing that I kind of go in and out of, like I don't know if I could do this anymore in the society that we live in. One thing that's just the most immature thing about me, I find impersonations of other races so funny. From Africans to Indians to Asians. Literally, if you can do a good anybody impersonation, you have me in tears. And I don't know if you're the same way, but I am a sucker for a good. You give me a good African, hey, I'm giving you a round of applause.
Okay. It depends on the context. I feel like if you're making fun of someone, like that's just mean spirited. But if it's coming from a place of like, I know a lot of people who are Indian or who are Asian or who are actually, Nigerian or whatever, and then they're doing the impersonation or they grew up around a lot of those people and it's actually an accurate impersonation and not just like you're being a caricature. Yeah, I will say this is what actually kills me about this conversation about like, oh, accents inherently are offensive. They can be, but the irony is, do you know who finds offensive accents the funniest?
The people
It's
of
foreign
those.
people who have
Yeah,
accents.
yeah.
My dad, he hears a Chinese accent, an egregious one. He's cackling up a storm. He is giggling in the corner. That's the funny thing.
That's
And if you,
hilarious.
mainland Chinese people, if they hear a horrible African accent, probably laughing. Like, you know what I mean? Like these standards of wokeness and POC solidarity don't really exist in most places. They just don't. So, yeah, I would say if it's coming from a good place, I tend to think that maybe it's because I'm also African. Like I was born in Ethiopia. I lived there for like half my childhood. I think like a good, solid Ethiopian accent where your impersonation clearly shows that you have an understanding of the culture, right? That's funny. That's great. Nigerian accents. It is the fun. It is. I've never met a group of people more naturally funny than Nigerians.
See, I went to school with a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Ethiopians, a lot of Chineses, a lot of everything because I went to a
Yeah.
medical school for my ninth grade year. In medical school, you should know. I mean, a whole bunch of Africans, a whole bunch of Indians, a whole bunch of
Mm.
Asian people, a whole bunch of everything. So I kind of was around them, and it was just like, yo, these people are very interesting just from their culture, just from the way that they, like, literally, this Asian dude was in tears. And I was like, bro, what's wrong? He's like, man, I got a B on my progress report. My mom's gonna kill me. I was like, in your progress? That's not even your report card. I was like, bro, that's not even the end. So the fact that I was like, yo, like a lot of that's when I learned like, oh, a lot of Asian people like their families are strict on them. They're very hard on them when it comes to school and rigorous or whatever. And it made a lot of sense. I was like, oh, no wonder like freaking Japan is like freaking living in 2070 right now compared to America. Like they have freaking upside down trains and stuff. Like we're, you know what I'm saying, still stuck on highways. You know, just very minute, stupid stuff. So I just got so interested in it and I became friends with a lot of African people. And at this point, they know Eric. Like, yeah, Eric is gonna he's gonna say a stupid African joke, and we just gotta deal with it or whatever. But they know it's not coming from a bad place because another thing that I like to decipher is if you ever talk to somebody, it's like a joke where it's like, oh, that's a joke, and you ever hear a joke where you're like, I don't know if that's a joke or if you're like getting some. That's a really big thing for me. And like, you ever hear like a
Literally.
white person say a joke, and you're like, all right, nigga, I don't know if you joking or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's another big thing with me. If I say something, quote unquote, like that could be deemed offensive, I want to make it known that hey, this is not me getting any personal hatred out or to make you feel bad. This is to entertain you, that type of thing. And I feel like I hear that with you sometimes. Like I look at some of your YouTube videos where you're a little bit more edgier on YouTube than TikTok.
Yeah.
And you will say a joke that's kind of like on that line. I'm like, yeah, this is a joke. This isn't her saying like, I hate blah or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is that something that you decipher consciously, or is that like an unconscious thing?
I mean, it is very much conscious. I do know that there are certain jokes you can make about a group of people, like no one gives a shit. Like I make fun of the British all the time, but boo hoo, what the hell are they gonna do? Throw a fucking crumpet at me? They still have a queen. How archaic is that? You know, I'm very anti-monarchy, by the way, and it's just I'm pressed because I can never be made into like, what is the it's the female equivalent of a knight, a lady,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm not from the Commonwealth countries. It's so disgusting how they still have that. I'm going off tangent. It is very much conscious. I think because anyone who watches my videos, you can tell that it's a character.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't think that I have to go out of my way to clarify that I'm joking because I'm saying such outrageous things. Like, if I make an expense of the joke of my own race of people in the same video where I basically am stating that, like, oh, I don't plan on, like, physically interacting with my children, at any point in time. Like, I'll pat them on the shoulder once a month and then, like, I've met my, my quota for physical, like, that I'm joking, right? And I think the beauty of it is, like, when you are, this is the great thing about being very sort of ethnically ambiguous is you can get away with saying a lot of shit if people don't know exactly what you are. I blew my fucking cover that I was in like a while ago, so people know. But I feel like now, if you are a white person and you're trying to be edgy, I feel like you're walking on eggshells. You're just a lot more limited in what you can say. And I get it, but the fact that I am a woman, an immigrant, and black, I feel like now's the time to cash in Those fucking chips.
You
You think
just,
I'm gonna give that up? I'm not.
you got it. You
I
got the
don't
pass.
care.
You got the
You know
pass.
what?
You got the pass.
It's true. I get the best of both worlds. I didn't have to suffer the intergenerational trauma that Black people in America had to because I moved here when I was 5. Am I still gonna exploit the shit out of it? Absolutely. You know I will. I don't feel bad about it. Maybe I should. Actually, no, I don't. But it's the truth. I mean, you're given certain cards in life, and I feel like in comedy, finally, for the first time in so long, you're given a little bit of a break in one area, in one sliver where, like, okay, people are a little bit more lenient on you.
I feel like we're
Well,
at,
freaking yeah.
I feel like we're at the point where there's a lot of white people who want to feel like oppressed because everybody's kind of you have like the PC culture that is kind of bringing light to a lot of oppressions from gay people to black people to whoever or whatnot, and white people are like, hey, what about us? Like we've been through stuff, so they had to find something. And a lot of white men's is, hey, I'm a comedian and I can't say
Yeah.
nigga no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, I thank God I'm black right now because, hey, as a black person, you kind of can just say what you want. Like you can kind
Yep.
of say, you can say the white man is the devil, Yakubians is the devil, and
Yes.
nobody is gonna really say nothing to you. But if you a
Yeah.
white man saying that, they're gonna get you out of here, and I'm gonna laugh when they do. So I'm thank God that I'm not a white man, because yeah, who wants to be a white man anyway?
What was that?
I said, but who wants to be a white man anyway? Thank God I'm not a white man, but who wants to be a white man anyway?
You know, at this point, it's like, yeah, I agree with you. You finally, we have a legitimate, black privilege. I
Yeah.
guess those scholarships, I guess. But it's true. It's nice. It's good to be a nigga right now. If you ignore all the police stuff, but I don't leave my house, so.
Hey, very same. I am in Florida where it is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, for a very long time I thought you were from Florida. You strike me as a Floridian. I don't know if that's an insult to you, but it's a compliment. You strike me as somebody that you would find in a very small town with 3,000 people populated in Florida.
Really?
Yes. You ever been down here? No, you haven't, because I watched your Florida video. You said you've never been down here. But
No.
yeah.
I've been to Florida in spirit. I mean, some would say I'm trapped there, but I don't know. I've never gotten someone. Well, maybe. I guess the vibes that I give off in my videos are pretty unhinged, and Florida is like the crackhead state. So
Florida is a place where I feel like if you view it from the outside, it is so much different than when you're here. Like
yeah,
Florida is it's not because I'm here. I guess maybe it's because I'm from here. I love Florida. Florida is a very interesting place. You meet the most interesting people. I mean, the hairstyles you see come out of Florida with the crazy wigs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see that anywhere else outside
yeah.
of Florida. And yeah, I mean, we got a couple, people free basing, freaking bath salts, but who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? Like that's everywhere.
It's a vibe.
New York has people butt naked jacking off on the plane, yeah, or not on the plane, but on the trains. That's a very
Yeah.
the fact that that's always funny that like New York people they'll be like, yeah, like seeing this homeless guy like beating on the train. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not normal, right? That's that's concerning.
To be fair, according to like New York State mandate, that like a guy jerking off on a train is required for the train to function, and people just completely overlook that. But it's like, no. He's like a ward of the state. That's his job.
That and somebody like
He's been jerking it 24 hours.
that and somebody
He's
like
exhausted.
somebody pop locking like 20 feet away from him. So
Yeah, showtime. And they bring out that boombox. And you really have to, and you just have to be like, I'm blind. I cannot see.
hey, I've been on my best behavior. I haven't said this in a long time, but not only am I anti TikTok, I am very anti New York. I absolutely hate New York with every bone in my body. Goodness
Well,
gracious.
I feel like it's because everyone is like, oh, New York. New York is the epitome of culture. And it's like, okay, we get it. You got some big dick buildings.
And no,
We understand.
no, I've
And
been
it's,
there. I've been there one time. Legitimately, the buildings look like Jim Crow. Like I don't know what it looked like during Jim Crow. It looked like I stepped inside of the Jim Crow era and was living within like I feel like I was gonna get chased by 50 dogs when I walked in New York. It is not good.
damn. Wait, what part of, I lived in New York for a year. But I was in like, this is when I went to NYU for like 1 year, and this was when so it was like Washington Square Park area. Where were you at?
I was in Manhattan. Isn't that the
Okay,
white? Isn't that the white part? That's really the nice part, right?
it is where all the whites congregate, right? Like you go to the Bronx and Queens, it's like okay, and then you cross that bridge and it's like oh Puerto Ricans, okay, I see them. They just like start popping out. But yeah, depending on that's the thing about New York City and a lot of cities in the U.S. is like it is the wealth disparity is so prevalent. You have these like $45 million penthouses, and then immediately like down the street or really like right next to the building is a bunch of homeless people sleeping. Yeah, it's very. I guess maybe if you're from Florida, right?
Yeah.
Why did I ask that? I know that was true. I feel like if you're from a state like Florida, which is such a microcosm of the U.S. because you have every single like demographic just sort of combined, that you're so used to like constant stimulation that even something like New York, which most people, if you're like from the Midwest, New York is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. And even then, they got sliced bread like 50 years ago. So it's interesting, but to you, I feel like it would, it feels like a downgrade.
It did. It felt like it was just I don't know. It felt like I went to L.A. and I think I thought I would love L.A. Also hate L.A. Wasn't a fan at all. It feels like the Truman Show. It feels like you're on set of a movie. It's very very weird out there. But New York, it just felt like I don't know. I definitely already had preconceived notions about New York, but just going in, it just I don't know. It just felt like I like the South. I think I'm a Southern guy. I like the South a lot. I like the feeling of the South. I like the food of the South. I like the people of the South. I'm not gonna hold you. I'd rather tolerate white people from the South than white people from the North, because white people from the South I feel like are almost they have to interact with black people, and when I interact with somebody that's white from the South, it's like I can have a much more comfortable conversation than somebody that was like born in like a suburban area in New York and they've never seen a black person. Like, oh my gosh, are you Kodak Black? And I was like, no, I'm not fucking Kodak
Say
Black.
yes.
So yeah, I don't know, but that's just New York for you. Where are you from?
Maryland. So originally from Ethiopia, but I lived in suburban Maryland for pretty much the exception of the 1 year that I was in New York, and now currently I'm in Boston. So for most of my life here, it was just regular old suburban Maryland. Which is below the Mason-Dixon line, but it's like it's not the South. Like no one considers Maryland to be a southern state.
Only thing I really know about Maryland is Baltimore, and I know Baltimore is a very interesting place to say the least. And Boston, I know that if I'm not mistaken, like every 3 mile radius you get called a nigger, right?
Yes. I mean, to be honest with you, I do appreciate the consistency. And I do like to be reminded of it. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I am. I feel like that's the best response to being called the N-word, by the way, is just be like, me? Yeah. Because take it away. Take their power away. I remember there's this guy on, there's always these like weird viral saying the N-word. The guy on a plane.
Oh, you're talking about the Burger King guy?
Was he a Burger King guy?
Well, he had on the Burger King hat. He on the Burger King crown. Are you talking about get the nigger bitch off the plane?
Was he the one who was like he was like, you nigger bitch?
He said,
like,
get that nigger bitch off the plane. Yes, that's a classic. That's an absolute classic video for sure. 100%.
I know that's a hate crime. If I got called a nigger bitch on a plane, I would be cackling. It's just so ludicrously offensive that it does a 180 and becomes funny. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, you don't even bother engaging with this person. They're beneath you. I feel like if someone called me nigger bitch, I'd be like, found my new Tinder profile. Like, maybe it's just the term nigger bitch is like, someone really was like, let me go out of my way to be racist and a misogynist. Like, let me just do that little Venn diagram. And then they arrive at, like, nigger bitch. Maybe nigger cunt would be, like, the ultimate. Right?
Why is like, why is that such a bad word? Like, do you know the history of that word? Because, like, I've heard, like, the C word, like, that's worse than the N word. And it's like, what is the history of that word that it is so just terrible?
I don't know what the etymology of it is. I do like the word. It sounds like Germanic, like cunt. It's so nice. Ugh, it's so pretty. I don't know. I know it can refer to like female genitalia. I don't know if that was the original reason as to why, or if that was the actual like root word had anything to do with, you know, the vulva or the vagina. But maybe it's just like when you say like, because culturally speaking, the British, the Scottish, Irish, you know, New Zealanders, Australians are very lenient when it comes to the usage of the word. And so it's certainly, it has to be a cultural thing as opposed to a linguistic thing because they're all speaking English. Maybe it's just that cunt sounds more aggressive when you're saying it in an American accent.
Can you say it real quick? Let me see. Hear it?
Cunt.
That did sound kind of, like, nasty.
Right? If you said it as like a Scottish person, like, oh, you wee cunt, that's cute. It's like, oh my god. It's like you'd call your grandma that. But if I was like, you're a cunt, oh my god. That's a verbal slap.
Clutching my pearls when you say that, so. That is a crazy one. What was I gonna say? Freaking accents, or not accents, but the impersonations. You're really good at that. Like you got that pretty spot on. Like that, you just busted out a Scottish accent, kind of just like I was a flex almost. Like you were just like, look what I can do. Just did it. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very talented.
Do you have a tier of like impersonation accents that you've practiced and worked on, fleshed out that you're like, yeah, I could do this like with the best?
I can do accents pretty well. Impersonations of people, I can only. Okay, let me think. Okay, here's my whole list. I can do a decent Celine Dion and Gwen Stefani when they're singing, but not when they're talking. I can do Wanda from Fairly Odd Parents, but only when she's screaming Cosmo.
Can I hear that real quick?
Okay. Cosmo!
Yo! I have not heard Wanda's voice in so long, but that sounds like a mammy in like a slave movie. Like I could just imagine the way he said that.
That was not the reaction I was expecting. Okay, wow.
But no, I have to hear Wanda voice.
With the wind rendition.
Yeah. If Wanda has a mammy voice, that makes Timmy Turner, or what is that? Was that Fairly Odd Parents? That makes that show even better.
Jesus, Hattie McDaniels was the first choice to play her, but she was dead. So
your references as well. You are the reference queen. That's one thing that I'd noticed about comedians and rappers. When a rapper has a good reference list where he can rap about freaking 1950s Citizens Kane's movie, you got me, buddy, because who does that?
yeah.
So when a comedian also can just do a callback from like whenever, like, oh yeah, this is, I'm like, yo, that's impressive. Is that something is that like a natural thing you just were a like pop culture, or just you did a lot of like just coming up, you were just very intrigued in that, or do you like go out and just look for like obscure, interesting like things or whatever? Because your reference game is insane.
Thank you. I just think that when it comes to, it wasn't like an active choice where I was going around like gathering little tidbits of information, but I've always been interested in pop culture, and you know, very specific subgroups, and I think my brain just has this uncanny ability to absorb like what most people would consider useless information. They're like, I mean, I feel like they're the sort of the mental equivalent of like little trinkets and tchotchkes that most people would be like, what is like this like $1, and I'm like, how dare you? Like this is my understanding of like, you know, Frank Zappa's testimony in front of Congress. That's precious. I can use that, and I have, and that's the beautiful thing is like, American pop culture is so fascinating, incredibly fascinating. There's such, you know, a wealth of information there, and I do also like to read. And so I have a lot of like literary references. I say that as I like probably mispronounce literary. That's a word that fucks me up. I like to read a lot, so I have a lot of literary references. Historical references are also good. I just think that, initially it didn't start out with me wanting to be better at comedy as much as I wanted to be a really good conversationalist. And I always thought that it was interesting to bring up like information that people probably wouldn't know. And you'd be shocked. Like, you can bring up this incredibly obscure topic, and then it turns out the person you're talking to is like, oh my god, I love that. I love, transcendental fucking French poetry or some shit. And you're like, okay, well, I mean, I didn't think that was going to happen, but that's what I mean. As I think it's interesting to be able to tap into a really niche interest of someone, and it also makes you funnier. I feel like I like comedy that's very specific, and there's almost this pride that you feel if someone makes a joke about with a very specific reference and you get it, you're part of the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So I like that.
no, that's the best feeling when you bring up or somebody else brings up a very obscure topic that you know about, and the other person's like, "Oh, I know about that too," and you're like, "Really? Like, I thought I was the only person in the world that cared about this person, thing, subject, or whatever." So, I feel like when you even like if you're doing a video and you just drop a name and somebody's like, "Whoa, she knows who that is," like that's cool. Like I didn't think anybody would know who that is. So I think that type of stuff is amazing, and I think that this is really random, but what made me want to be like that, I was watching something about Jackass, the show, a very long time ago, and one of them was like, "Yo, he's so freaking good at conversations. Like he can't tell you a lot about everything, but he knows enough to talk about like everything." And I just thought that was so fascinating. I was like, "That's very interesting." But I think they showed an example of like this guy was talking about cars or whatever, about fixing cars, but he's never fixed a car a day in his life, and just I love that type of stuff where you have a conversation about any single thing. You might not know everything about it, but you know the generals enough to just be like, "Oh yeah, I know about this painting. I know about this artist. I know about this or whatever." So yeah, I think that's a very good tool to have in the bag, and it makes you funny. The funniest people are the smartest people, are the funniest people. So
Yeah, that's true. And it's more jokes. There's so many, there's so much potential for jokes when you just, broaden your horizons. Um, it's just, yeah, every piece of information, I feel like people think that being funny I mean, it is a skill, not to toot my own horn, but it's also like, it's something you can get better at. You know what I mean? You can always hone your craft even more. And the more, like, you're never gonna know too much. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's like government secrets or like you saw like a mafia boss commit a hit and run or something. But like no amount of information that you read or acquire, at like worst case scenario, it's not gonna be useful. But like that's the worst that can happen is you're just never gonna use it. So
no, I think that you have the right freaking mind about comedy. I think that your mind, I mean, like, who am I telling you that? But you already know this. Your freaking mind is a beautiful one. I think that you are going to be somebody. Yeah, somebody's going to think like I got COVID or something. I don't know why. I've been freaking coughing and stuff throughout this whole thing. But I think your mind is a beautiful thing. I think that within the next couple years, you are going to be somebody that's going to be freaking on like a random HBO Max show or something like that. And I'm like, is that freaking the girl that's like athletic as Johnny Watermelon? This is fucking amazing to see. So,
yeah, it's the Cool Olympics girl. Damn, I got a clip that can fuck her up.
punching his black bird in the mouth, just racist. I can't wait for people to notice at a mass scale because you got a freaking million followers. That's amazing, and the fact that you can already amass that on TikTok. I don't know. I don't know if you've already been hit up by freaking TV show producers or whatever, but it's coming. I can't wait. I'm very tuned in what you have going on, and yeah, I just thank you for letting me do this interview. I think you're like I said, you're going to be one of those ones, and I'm glad to say that I was here a little bit early. So
That's very nice. I'm glad that you wanted to interview me. This is very fun. Um, I never know how to like compliment people without it coming off as like either condescending or disingenuous. This is great. You're a great conversationalist. Very laid back. This is like the most relaxed I think I've ever been talking to a stranger.
in a bonnet,
Especially,
stranger in a bonnet.
that's true. Maybe that's why you do it. Catches people off guard, and they're like, "Oh, I feel like I'm talking to my grandma."
Before we get out of here, I do have to go back to the conspiracy theories
Oh,
because
okay, yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like you may have some interesting ones. I kind of want to start it up just to, if you have to think about some. Um, One that I've been just dead set on. I don't know if you're familiar with Justin LeBoy, but he is a cancerous to the internet. He's a guy,
Justin the boy.
Justin LeBoy.
Justin the boy.
He's
Okay.
a guy that if you look at any black woman's Instagram story, they're probably reposting his story. He basically like posts tweets or whatever, and they're just the stupidest things or whatever. I have a conspiracy theory that he's the new and improved 2022 Cointelpro. I think that the government is gathering a lot of black influencers, and it's like, how do we distract these niggas? Back in the day, we had to kill them, we had to
Yeah.
go poison them. Now we just post funny niggas on the internet and distract them. I think Justin LeBoy is the lead detective in the new Cointelpro, and this guy is terrible. And I think that people are going to think I'm crazy, but watch 60, 50 years from now, the government is using Instagram and Twitter. There's like so many viral tweets. I'm like, this isn't a real person tweeting this. And it's just like, hey, y'all know black men trash. 30,000 retweets. It's like, all right, this is definitely Jason in the CIA tweeting this right now. I cannot wait till that comes out 50 years from now because it's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
You think? Okay, so what do you think the underlying reason for this is? Do you think it's a matter of like, if we can get these niggas to think that that could be them one day, they're gonna concentrate all of their effort onto social media and trying to become that type of person, or do you think it's just a matter of like distracting
I
us?
think it could be that. I think it's distraction because I'll never forget George Floyd dies. Everybody and their mom unison together. Hey, we don't like this. Police, pigs, F-12, whatever. Everybody's going in or whatever. Literally a month later, there was the hugest debate I seen on Twitter where it was like, black men don't protect black women. And everybody's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And I'm like, oh, we're back to square one where we're just arguing, 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 arguing. And I think it's meant to distract. Same thing Cointelpro did. Freaking Fred Hampton. Hey, this guy's the greatest Black Panther leader of all time. Let's kill him. And that's what they did. But now they don't have to do that anymore. I think that since we don't have any like actual like very powerful on the ground activists, like can you name like a huge black activist right now that's like on the street doing things? Most of them are online doing like
Well,
online
I mean,
activism.
Jesse Smollett, but they got him.
Exactly. Jesse Smollett also might have been COINTELPRO as well. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think that it's meant to distract black people because I just see like the most stupidest things being argued about. I'm like, do you remember for like a month we were all in it together and we were like, yeah, this is it. Now we're arguing about like $200 dates and if we should be doing it or not. And like you're not really thinking about like anything actually important. So yeah, I think that I learned in psychology class that, or I learned in sociology class that if a institution is successful, they never change. So the government being successful in the '60s and what they did, bringing down black leaders, Latino leaders, why would they change in 2022? Like, what would be the point of them not doing the same thing, but just in a different route? Because instead of being on the street doing it, let's get on Twitter and Instagram and make fake accounts of black people, or actually get black people and hire them as agents and distract them and have them talking about meaningless nonsense.
I feel like this could also explain the like SoundCloud rapper trend.
Explain.
Like, I think the mentality might be like, if we can just keep these niggas fucking rapping and spitting trash bars, chasing that pipe dream like nothing else, it's almost like it's like dangling a carrot. You know what I mean? And it also, okay, this is getting a little too. This
Be-
might be like my leftist type showing.
Be- hold on. Before you get there, I do want to say this because I'm going to forget about this. The SoundCloud
Okay.
thing. I just watched not a leftist. No, you got to be saying that. I just watched a lecture on YouTube about apparently the CIA and rock and roll were hand in hand in the 60s and the 70s. They were giving them drugs. A lot of lead singers, like, they'll get in trouble. Like, yo, we'll give you drugs, sell them, experiment with these people, see how, like, it affects their brain or whatever. They were getting certain people locked up. So rock and roll and the CIA and rock and roll definitely play hand in hand. So CIA and freaking Little Pump playing hand in hand in 2020, that would be the biggest plot twist. Now keep going. I just had to put that
Oh
out
my
there.
god, the CIA and the freaking Takashi 69. I don't know how this man is going to be dropping singles while like under witness protection, but I fully think that he was like not only a plant. This man was an informant.
I mean,
I mean, confirmed.
he's already a federal agent at this point. So for
Oh yeah.
him being like a CIA agent, it would not be far fetched at all.
No. So yeah, the rappers. Okay. I think. Okay, so this also ties into the whole like rise and grind culture, where this idea that like we live in a meritocracy, hard work is what will get you far. And think about it, rap as a genre is the most like explicitly pro-capitalist music genre to exist, right? Bar none. And I do think that it's not inherently bad to want to go from to have your rags to riches story, but it does drill this message that like you can do it. It can be you. It can be you throwing, single dollar bills at this, light skinned woman's shuddering ass. And it's that carrot and it keeps you going. And it also allows you to, like, turn yourself into, like, this. No, I'm thinking of the right word for it. You're turning yourself into this, like, piece of property that then these major, like, if you do become successful, all you're going to be is a puppet for this major, like, music label. I mean, and to what? To basically sell more products to, like, for the most part, middle-class white suburban kids. So it's not even like black people benefit from it directly in any way. And that's all that it is. That's why I'm not impressed whenever people are like, do you know, like, hip-hop is it's the biggest music genre. It surpassed rock and roll. And I'm like, okay. Like, that doesn't benefit any black person outside of those individual artists.
That is because I do feel like there was a point in time in like the 80s where you could listen to like mainstream hip hop and you could find a lot of positive messages. Now we fast forward from the 80s to the 2000s. There aren't probably a lot of mainstream positive messages you could find in rap. Just listen to the radio. I'm not saying you find like some underground music or whatever. There's a lot of good stuff out there. But you talking about it not benefiting a lot of black people outside of them, that makes an interesting point because you watch a positive TV show, it could benefit you a lot. But you listen to a rap song where they are talking about a lot of like capitalistic messages or a lot of whatever, it's probably not going to benefit you, really a lot at all. The way I turn that in, I listen to a lot of those musics, and it kind of makes you just want to like I'll listen to like, I don't know, Future or something. He's like, I just made 100,000, goddamn, I'm getting money. And I'm like, fuck, I'm broke. I need to go get I need to go get 100,000. A lot of those music, I use it as motivation almost. Same way if like you're playing basketball, listen to music, turns you up, I'm finna be great. I use it as that. But a lot of people, they don't. A lot of people, they they could take that message and take it the complete wrong way. So I do find that interesting. But, if you want to make it positive, I think you can. But it's all up to the listener, I feel like. But overall, yes, it is a lot of label people using these young black men and like as their their puppeteers or whatever. They're doing this to the black rappers, and it's kind of sad.
It is. I feel like, the reason that I bring this up, I don't even think of it as a conspiracy. Like, that's what the music industry does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not exclusive to black artists, but at the end of the day, like, you are a commodity. I mean, everyone is to an extent, but you are quite literally the absolute epitome of a commodity when you're in the entertainment industry because you are selling yourself. I mean, I'm selling myself, right? I just have more agency.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are all someone's bitch. I'm just my own bitch.
Hey, at the end of the day, that is what it is, and that's an interesting one. SoundCloud and the CIA and the labels all working in cahoots. Pretty interesting stuff. Hey, TikTok also, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory. They're getting paid off by labels to keep certain stuff up. For example, and I'll say this and I'll let you go. When the videos were being taken out of me, this is around the same time. I'm from Jacksonville to be specific. There was a large thing coming out of Jacksonville. I don't know if you've seen it. There were the guys on the golf course. They were playing golf and they were rapping over 100 with the I'm gonna walk 100 miles. They're rapping over that song, but they flipped it and they were dissing a lot of dead people on the song, right? A lot of dead people that they did not like. So there became a trend on TikTok where one of the guys that they were dissing, he responded and he started listing off of their dead friends. So he was like, this person got shot, that person got shot, he's naming them. That person got shot, this person got shot. So there became a TikTok trend where even Corey in the House, Kyle Massey hopped in, and they were making memes about it. So it was like, this person got shot, that person got shot, and like the people are saying in the video. And I was like, so my video where I'm talking about just silly little Jacksonville stuff gets taken down. But I can go on TikTok and I could repeat dead people's kids a lot. A lot of these people are under 18 that died. I can repeat these young black kids' names and this person got shot, that person got shot. And that could stay up on TikTok. So that made me sure, like, okay, somebody's getting paid off here, because if that's not, like, takedownable, I don't know. Hey, I don't know what is.
Dang. When I heard that they were, like, rapping about dead people that they didn't like, I was assuming it was, like, oh, celebrities, not, like, actual victims of gang violence.
No, these are people that are like, hell, oh, I didn't like that guy. He died. Let's make a song about him. That type of thing.
Oh, my God. Okay, well, before we go, I do have one more conspiracy theory, which I think...
Go for it.
Won't get me in trouble because nobody gives a shit. Like, no one likes these people. I think that Kris Jenner deliberately made sure that nearly all of her grandbabies were half black. And, like, that it's not a coincidence. Bullshit. I have no proof of this. You're telling me. Because the oldest one, right? She had a bunch of kids with that fucking deadbeat. And they're all lily white. And Kris saw them. And her mother, who, I mean, she's like the least profitable Kardashian, and she was like, never again. Never again will I allow this to happen. Ain't no baby coming out of any womb that is part of the Kardashian Jenner brand that is not a little niglet. I will not fucking allow it. And so, just like what happened with, then she gets with Kanye, because like Chris Humphries, fucking, he comes around, can, barely speak, and he's not black enough. They know that any baby that pops out of her, too white passing.
Well, was Chris Humphries black? Does he have black?
I think he was partially black.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was, I don't know, he was like nigger adjacent. And
Okay.
basically, he, so afterwards, you get with Kanye, you get that clout, and you're like, okay, that's one interracial couple. Okay, statistically, that might make sense. Then, literally, every other child, they all happen to hook up with rappers, athletes, of course, because she's not original. I think that she has a giant vault. Like, Kris Jenner has a giant vault of all of the sperm of every single, like, eligible and also not eligible black man in, like, the greater Los Angeles area. And she snuck into Kylie Jenner's room with, like, a little turkey baster. And she just...
Yeah,
and frankly, to be honest with you, I don't think that she to this day can tell whether or not she picked up like the Tyga turkey baster or the fucking Travis Scott one, and we don't know.
Yeah, within that she has like vaccine samples. She has like Moderna right here, Tyga, and she's like, did I put the Moderna in her coochie? She's like, I hope not.
Yeah. I think that's what happened. They have like all the list of like their assets, their traits, their height. Whether or not any of their natural features can like very easily be altered surgically. And she made that decision. And now, two of them are glorified baby mamas. It's the same type of shit that like you try and do that. If you are black or brown and poor, you're ghetto. You're fucking trashy. They do it. Wow, it's the new form of motherhood. Look at them and their designer babies.
I remember seeing like something like that with a bonnet where like, I don't know, like Marc Jacobs or somebody that created a bonnet, and it was like, yo, this is like new fashion. And I was like, yeah, black women been wearing bonnets for forever, and you call them like, ghetto and ratchet or whatever, but like a white woman put on like a Marc Jacobs bonnet, and hey, she's like a new Kardashian. It's really crazy.
Yeah. It's incredible how they invented cornrows.
That too.
Yeah. And kinky hair, and having thick lips. When I tell you, like, those women literally looked at an actual, like, racist caricature. Like, they were literally, like, scrolling through minstrel show images, and then they were like, yes, I think those lips.
Johnny Watermelon. Okay.
Are you still watching?
I don't know. That was fucking Siri just started talking out of nowhere. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Hey,
It's Kris Jenner. She heard us. She
yeah,
was like,
she's gonna take this video. This
she was
video is
like,
not
you
gonna.
Negroes better shut the fuck up.
This video is
Stop
not gonna
telling the
be.
world about them.
This video is gonna get taken down within an hour because Kris Jenner is gonna see this, gonna be like, yeah, yeah. Get
Where
the
is
fuck
this
outta
going
here.
up?
It's going on my YouTube channel. It's definitely going
Okay,
up on YouTube.
I think it'll be okay. To
Hopefully.
be fair, I feel like we said nigga way too many times. This is not going to get monetized.
Nigga
My
cool.
apologies.
Nigga cool. I said that my inner minstrel show comes out. So I mean, yeah, we definitely.
And that was within the first 5 minutes.
Hey, we've done enough damage. I do have a funny story to tell you when I end this that I do think you would appreciate. But before we get out of here, do you have any last words for the people people that are watching this? Anything you want to say? Please let it be known.
I mean, I guess I can just plug all my shit.
Of course, I will link that below. By the way, that will all
Thank
be
you very much. I post on TikTok I post on YouTube pretty much every week. And so all my stuff, my podcast, YouTube videos up on there. I will be back on TikTok, I'd say a week before the 14th, so around the 7th.
Gotcha.
I'll be back on TikTok in February. I have a Patreon. You want to help me because your girl literally cannot make any passive income off of like the platform I have the most followers on. It sucks. I do post a lot of Patreon exclusive content on there. So,
But that will be back next month, right? Once the ban ends?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh my god! I swear. I think I'm at the verge where if I get one more video taken down, they are going to kick my black ass off. They are going to send a fucking Chinese agent to come down and actually kick me in my melanated cheeks. And it's not going to be enjoyable. So I've been very careful. So, yeah, it's a lot of innuendo and a lot of symbols that replace certain letters in my captions and titles to ensure that those bots don't fucking get me. So, yes. What else? What else do I have to say? Free Tibet. Oh, that's gonna piss off the Chinese. Fuck. I might actually get kicked off of TikTok for saying that.
What does that mean?
Free Elizabeth Holmes.
What's Tibet? What's that?
Tibet.
Yeah, what's that?
I think he's like a rapper or something. I don't know. I keep hearing people say like Free Tibet, Free Palestine, and I'm just like, what did they do? I hope they get out.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Bro, I'm not even joking when I say, like, you could not even post any segment of this to TikTok. Like, the Free Tibet alone, I swear to God, if you were to post a clip of that immediately, that's an actual, like, experiment, it will get taken down so fucking quick.
Hey, but you can post a 7-year-old shaking her butt, so...
You can't. Well, I mean, that's family-friendly content, you know.
Hey, I went to LA and I had this porn star do a public interview. I kind of produced it where she asked random people, would they date a porn star? And just to see their reaction, and then she'd be like, well, I'm a porn star, and see if they would change their reaction. That got taken down within the first 20 minutes, and I tried to, like, spell porn star with, like, P, then I put, like, a freaking, like, zero emoji away. I was like, let's see if I get...
Yeah.
They were like, no, you get out of here. And it wasn't even explicit. She didn't say any curse words, it was just, hey, would you date a porn star? But, hey, too crazy, but I guess, you know, like, you can post weird stuff for pedophiles, so, hey, there's that.
Yeah. And they have a curated stream of it, too. Just literally finger scrolling, never-ending stream of children.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Like a shit.
appreciate you coming through. Don't want to take up too much of your time for anybody watching. You can find her stuff in the description below. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play, and you guys holler at your boy.